Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Stage El Paso, where we get together with local talent and we talk to them, we hear their stories, and not only do we hear their stories, but we hear their music. Today, I'm with this wonderful band called As the City Sleeps. You may have seen some of their stuff on YouTube or Facebook or even around town, as they are local. So without further ado, I leave the floor to you guys if you want to introduce yourselves, let the people know who you are.
What's up, guys? I'm Jimmy, drummer, percussionist for As the City Sleeps.
My name is Alan Martinez. I am vocals, guitar, and I'm the producer, songwriter, and producer for the band.
My name is Orlando Silva, and I'm the bassist for the band.
Ooh, I like the way you said the bass.
The bass.
You gave it so much emphasis. It was nice.
Depth.
You gave it so much bass to it.
Oh man! So how did you guys meet? How did the As the City? Well, first of all, where did the name come from?
I came up with the name. It's kind of like an homage to like artists, like any type of like platform which are like they're like writers or like painters or musicians. I read an article as I do when I'm kind of going through my phone. And
Reads?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
And so basically saying like the brain waves like of an artist or a person who's kind of like more artistic, they're more active at night, and that's why So the thing is that basically like as the city sleeps, like us artists are creating and we're like writing and painting and doing music and stuff. So it's kind of like an homage towards like for more for like any artist, I guess, whatever. That's how I came up with the name.
That is such like a philosophical, like I've talked to quite a bit of people, and they're usually just like, I don't know, it just kind of came to me.
I don't know. It's like woke up and I was like, oh, blueberries.
Yeah, that's such a that's crazy. I would have never been like, yeah, they got their name because
that's how it came out.
That's cool, man. I dig it. That's really cool. So how did you guys meet?
Well, I've known Jimmy since middle school?
Yeah, since middle school.
A long time ago. We're pretty up there.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing is, like, we've always kind of, we've always interacted and stuff or whatever. We were like in a band, like in high school, right? We were in a band.
Yeah, man.
What was the name of that band?
like Severed Hearts or something.
Yeah, something
I don't know,
like that.
something really like I'd rather not get into it. But yeah, and then I know blueberries, right? So then we kind of went our separate ways. Like he did and then for some reason we just kind of kept on coming back to each other, and then we worked on this other project called Murder Remedy, and then we kind of like then that didn't kind of we just kind of kept on like I'm telling you, just went our separate ways and just kind of kept on fighting each other.
Yeah. And
I was jamming out with this other band, and I had met up with him. I just bumped into him like in the movies or something.
Yeah,
right?
I was at the theater, man.
And then I was like, hey man, I got this band going on. I was like, we're gonna play at the Lowbrow. Like, you should check us out. He's like, cool. So then I guess it was like the very first time for like those dudes. Like I had played the Lowbrow like for like a couple of times, so it wasn't a big deal for me. But then for those dudes, like, oh my god, the Lowbrow. And it's like, so we started drinking, and I was like, I tried keeping up, so he got like totally trashed, crazy trash. And like apparently, what's funny is like I remember him being there and like having a conversation with him, and then like really not a lot like anything else. So then
what was that, entering high school, or what was it, like mid-high school?
No. This was like maybe like a few years ago.
Yeah.
So like I'm telling you, he just kind of kept on going, our separate ways, then like a reunioning. So then at some point, like this dude, like the next day, I was like, oh man, I got like such a hangover, this and that. And then I get a text from this dude. He's like, hey man, so when are we gonna jam again? And when are we gonna start jamming? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I was like, what? So I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, man, we're having this conversation, and then you're saying we got this other thing going on, and I should be your drummer, and like we should jam out. And I'm like, sure, okay, yeah. I was like, I'll go with this. I was like, dude, I have no recollection of that conversation, but like, let's do it. So then it was myself and Jimmy for a bit.
I want to know, when was the first jam though?
When was it? Like 2000?
Like the first jam that you could think of? Like,
I don't remember.
Golly, man.
I don't remember.
They're
We've
old,
jammed
man.
so much that
I know. I
When-
can
when
barely
that far
remember
back?
what I had for
when
breakfast,
Jimmy
but-
was like 13, I was
I know, right?
basically 1.
No, but so yeah, basically, and then like everything just kind of like formed, and then we recorded, and then Orlando kind of came into the fold. Maybe about a year ago, a little over a year ago.
A year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. Possibly.
Yeah, we for some reason, like, the bass players in this like city, like, they just really flaky and stuff.
You hear that?
Yeah. Whoever
Talking
played
to
with
you.
us, yeah, they were really flaky, and we were playing with backtracks, and it was just kind of like, it was like really awkward. We're like, what are these guys like, so then I was like, dude, we need to like get like a solid bass player that's gonna like stick with us and stuff or whatever. And I was like, dude, I always and you're playing with Sunset, right?
Sunset Standard at the time. Yes, sir.
And then I was like, I usually there's not a lot of people like I'm like, I don't know, you could probably take this out or whatever, but I remember like what's it called, getting along with him like really cool and whatever. And I was like, yeah, well, he plays bass. I'm like, maybe he wants to join or kind of jam out with us or whatever. So then he's kind of been with us since, right? Like about a little over a year. So that's
around there. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
maybe the first time, maybe the end of 2020, maybe like the feeling it out, the first practices.
Like we all got
maybe.
COVID together, and then we're like, you know what? Let's just keep
We all
going.
got together, and then
A band that gets COVID together stays together.
Yeah, that's how that went.
Oh man. So I'm curious. We all choose our instruments, and it's kind of something that we do. But how did you guys like get into percussion, bass, and vocals? Like how did that come to be? What was your inspiration behind it? How did that be your, like, this is my bread and butter here?
Well, I guess I could kick that off. As far as me, I started playing drums at the age of 6. My parents bought me this little toy drum set. And then after that, I moved on to a actual real drum set, like in middle school. And I just took off from there. I have my years in experience with drumline, both at Jefferson and at UTEP. I was in the UTEP drumline from 2000 to 2003. And I also played in a few other projects, but my inspiration really comes from my father and a lot of family roots and stuff, family of musicians. So, it runs in the blood, I guess you could say, on my end.
That's such a blessing to have
Yeah,
a
man,
family
it is.
of
It is.
musicians. I was not so fortunate.
So for me, it's probably maybe 2015 when I first touched the bass, and I was like, well, I guess I gotta play bass because my band needs a bass. And we started forming my first band called the Can Dance, right? And we started playing it out, and it wasn't even my bass. It was just a 4-string bass, and it wasn't even mine. And then my first ever bass, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna buy a 5-string bass. Didn't even know that much, to be honest. I just bought it, started messing with it, and messing it with it ever since.
The Can Dance, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys
Does it sound
know
familiar?
No.
Oh, okay. You're like, I got beef.
No. Do you guys know what kind of group that was?
Yeah, I that's how I met him actually.
Oh, dang. So I was trying to think of what genre of music that would be. And
It was kind of like indie, right? It was like indie alternative.
I wanted to know
so
what it
I was
was.
thinking like ska, kind of like, like I don't know why. That's just Can Dance is what came to mind, and I was like, ska band for sure.
That's funny. No, a lot of people referenced us as like very
Terrible?
similar to very similar to the Strokes.
Oh, okay.
Like that's what the vibe was, and that's what a lot of people said back then.
That's cool. I haven't heard of you because I haven't been here in a long time. Not because you guys were terrible.
No worries, we broke up, so we're good.
No, yeah. Like
It's because you didn't get COVID together.
exactly.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
It was before, so.
COVID. And then myself, my dad, he played like guitar, just kind of like casually or whatever, and then he always had it like the acoustic guitar nylon, and it was always there, and I kind of messed around with it. I didn't know what I was doing, and then as the years passed by, I didn't really like kind of mess with it every once in a while, but then. And this is kind of like a weird thing, but like my brother, he joined a marching band, right? And he played baritone, and he was kind of trying to tell me how things were. Like, oh, like it's like not everybody plays the same thing. Like it's like the bass plays like different from what this and that. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I didn't really understand him at the time. And then like Boys to Men like came out, right? Mm-hmm. So then he was like, I guess he was trying to use that as a tool to like kind of like show me. I was like, all right, you play like, because I still hadn't gone through puberty yet, and he had already gone through puberty. He was like an older brother. And he was like, I play the bass parts, kind of like the whatever, and then you play like the alto and like the soprano and stuff, like the whatever. So then I was like, okay. So then we would harmonize, and I was like, oh my god, that was amazing, that was so cool. And he's like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. And I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. I was like, all right, cool. So I started getting into it, and then when I got to high school, I was just like, I want to learn guitar. Like, it's just kind of like not because like all the cool kids had the guitar, but it's because I was like, my dad kind of knows how to play a little bit. Like, I love all this music. And then I just kind of want to like kind of put all that, you know, into it, and like I started learning. I took guitar for 1 year with a person who does know what he was doing, and the second year it was like this other dude, and that was just like.
And you had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah. Basically, he was just like, "What's this chord?" I was like, "An A." And he's like, "Oh yeah, an A." And I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me? Like, we're supposed to?" And I was like, "All right." So that was like a free period basically, and after that, I was like, "I'm not taking guitar," so I just kind of went and I learned everything else by myself.
It was supposed to be a private tutor.
No, it was a class. It was a guitar class.
He was backwards teaching.
I know, right? It's just kind of like
yeah. He was like, you teach me
reverse psychology.
So I know you know it.
He was trying to inception us, and I was like, "Whoa, did we inception you? Or you inception us?"
No,
that's how it was, man. It's weird.
That's cool, man. I love that you guys came from like a rich like musical background. It's nice.
Yeah.
That's something I hope my kids, you know, they're assholes now, but I hope they pick it up.
Like
you know?
one day.
Like my oldest, he's 2, but you know, I used to have a studio set up, and he'd go and play the drums, and they'd be like, "Get out of there," because I had all my gear, you know, but. Deep down inside, I was really proud.
You're like, yes.
Yeah, I was like, that's
fine.
Cool. I really wanted a bass player though, and I wanted my youngest to be a key player. That way, I had like my own combo. I was like, yo, we're set. I don't have to worry about a rhythm section.
Like,
but
right?
I think he's gonna play drums. So
Nice.
I gotta learn how to play bass. If you guys know a good bass player, let me know.
No. The one we know, he's all right.
Yeah. So I know this is the first time we've met, but I did stalk you guys a little bit on Facebook and stuff, and you guys have a few music videos out. Do you guys have anything new coming out? Are you guys working on any projects?
Yeah, we're actually about to release our most recent singles called Embers. We should be recording the music video for it next month or so. The song should be released in like around December, and then like everything else kind of follows, like lyrical video, like everything kind of has to like be kind of like a package deal, like lyric video, and then like, you know, the music video, and then like the single, whatever. So basically I think that's kind of like the what's on the horizon when it comes to that, just like the really concentrating on our next single. We recorded like the a full LP, like the most recent one, and I'm pretty sure I'm never gonna do that again because like it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Like that's cool for like people that are already like established and they have like millions of followers, and they're like, you know, they have like a what's it called, a record label like behind them, like can like facilitate everything. But for an independent artist, like it's not a good idea. It's like it's probably like just better like for like singles, and then like an EP, and then like
So you kind of like struck a chord a little bit. So there's a lot of young artists that might watch this, a lot of either young in age or young just in musical age,
getting started.
For those that are looking to record, I know you said some of it was stressful, and I've had my experiences, but do you care to elaborate a little bit, or any words of wisdom?
It's a very tedious process, because I think a lot of people just think like, oh, you just go in there and you just like track, and like, you know, like you put it like in a magic machine and it's like, oh, it's out. And it's like, nah, man, like you have to, like the whole, like you have to like produce, you have to have someone that knows what they're doing, like producing, like that doesn't go there. Maybe we can add this to it. You know what? Like let's kind of like take that chorus away and put like it's just like all this stuff. And then on top of that, once everything's tracked, like mixing comes along, and like that's kind of expensive. And then like once that's mixed, then it goes to mastering, and that's kind of expensive. And so it's just like not only is it like time consuming and very tedious, it's also very expensive.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, like, you know, a whole LP is probably not the best of ideas. I did it just because I wanted to, and I was like, I did it. But yeah, it got pretty expensive, and now I'm just like, yeah, let's go singles, and then like EPs. Like we should do that.
I would say patience, man, is the best advice.
Okay.
Patience, regardless of what project you're in or what you're doing as far as recording. It's kind of like cooking, you know? If you're going to cook something and you want it to come out good, you have to make sure that you cook it right and not speed up the process. You know, like you bake a cake, you know, you can't take it out of the oven too soon, otherwise it's still soggy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the same applies with music. You know, if the more patient you are, the better things come out.
My wife's a professional baker. Follow her Instagram, Christine's Confections.
Sweet.
And
then this is your confessions.
ooh, like Usher.
Ooh.
She, internet's gonna kill me, but
Right? Just like
she, there's this dish or this dessert thing, I don't know what the fuck you call it, but you can't like open the oven or else it like ruins the whole dessert.
Oh yeah.
So I was just like, that would drive me nuts. But it's very similar to what you just said. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of patience, whether it's, you know, you're learning your instrument for the first time, that's going to take a long time, or you're recording an album. For those of you recording albums, be nice to your engineers, because it, like
That's
we just
right.
heard, it takes a long time. So
That's right.
yeah. Don't. Another thing I could probably another piece of advice, just like when like it's pretty easy to say, we'll fix it in post. You're like, no.
nah.
No.
I had a very great teacher who said if it doesn't sound good in the recording, it's just
That's right.
sound
It's like
like
get
shit.
it right the first time, and then post will enhance it and make it sound better. But let's make it sound really good, and then in post, then we can't fix it in post. Like
No.
don't go by that. Whoever's recording you or producing you and say, we'll fix it in post. Yeah, like vacate that to the studio as soon as possible, because that guy doesn't know what he's doing.
And then call me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. So, man, you guys are so much fun. So you guys are giving a lot of good words. I know you're kind of young, man, but do you have anything for people that are maybe even your age that are looking to start playing or anything?
Yeah, so I've been to the studio a couple of times in terms of well, I guess in terms of recording, actually. In terms of recording, it has to be done to the T. So everything has to be practiced. Everything has to be, note per note, a hit, I don't know, how do I say it? Hit by hit, or
drum hit, or
drum by drum. But everything has to be to the T, because if you come to the studio and it's like it's not ready, it's not fully cooked yet. Basically, not that you're like mixing it up and like waiting for it to be prepared, but it has to be prepared, and the package has to be there, so that way you're good to go. In terms of somebody that's like young and starting to play, just do it. Literally, that sounds like cliche, but just go like me. Just go ahead and get your instrument and use it. Use it every day. Use it every other day when you have time and when you have free time. Whether it's harmonics, strings, whatever, even saxophone, whatever it is. Just play. Just do it. Just practice, and just have a community network, and you'll be successful.
Yeah, it's funny that you say just do it. That's a common trend. A lot of artists have said, you just have to do it. Don't be afraid of failing.
That's
Don't
right.
be afraid of going out there. And yeah, I agree. I felt the same way about this podcast. I thought everybody was going to just talk shit on it and whatever. But
I mean, we will anyway.
yeah, and that's fine. I understand that the internet is a real place. But I was just like, yeah, you know what? I want to do this. I want to meet people. I want to do it. And I was really nervous about it the first couple weeks, and I'm so glad I did it. It was one of those things where I think, had I not, I would have regretted it a long time. And even now as a professional musician, where I know like you just got to do things, it's hard. You let other things get in the way. So I think that's kick-ass advice. Just do it, and it's going to be a common trend on this podcast. I'm sure is artists saying just to do it. So before we just do it to your performance, do you guys have any social media tags you guys want to put out there? Anything you guys want to promote?
Yeah, well, basically anything to do with like our social media is like As the City Sleeps Music, like whether it's Facebook or Instagram, or I don't even know what else we have. But yeah, anything like just on YouTube as well. It's As the City Sleeps Music. But yeah, like, all our stuff's there. We don't update it as much as I want to, because I do have like a kind of like a busy life. I have like a full-time job and stuff, and I'm not all like there just like posting every 5 seconds. I should, not every 5 seconds, but I mean maybe like on a daily
10.
basis. Especially, I know, right? Especially nowadays, like with social media being such a juggernaut when it comes to like being relative or whatever out in the world. Like whether like you're a shitty band, like as long as like you're posting on social media, like you're gonna get like hits and like likes and all that stuff, which is I think is kind of like stupid, because like I mean like it doesn't like I the caliber of a band is like how well you play and like how well you write and like the quality of the music, not how many likes you get on a post. Like that's cool. That's kind of like how we live in now, which that's it's kind of like you have to evolve with how the the trends. I don't really agree with it, but at the same time kind of have to like we can't be left
Live
behind.
in the past.
Yeah, I can't
Get
live in
with
the
the program,
past.
Grandpa.
I know, right? But I mean, yeah, I would like to like post more stuff, but it's just like sometimes like it's like a little tedious.
Just a tip for you guys and for anybody watching. If you have a business page, I think you can do it on a personal. What I used to do is when I was pooping, I would just go through and I would schedule posts because I also wouldn't, post very
Is that a
often.
thing?
So you can go and you can just like schedule posts at like this time on this day. I want this to go out. And I started taking an hour a week where
An
I would
hour
just
pooping?
schedule.
Like, dude, you gotta-
dude, getting up was
Put some
rough.
fiber in there, bro.
Getting up was difficult. No, but yeah, I would just take an hour, schedule the
pears.
week,
Pears are good
schedule
for
the week
fiber.
out, and then every day a post was going
Yeah.
out or 2 posts were going out.
Yeah.
And
Actually, that's not a
that
bad
way
idea.
you're consistent and you do that and you don't have to remember every day because I'll forget.
Yeah.
Absolutely forget.
I'll forget to poop sometimes.
Oh, I do not.
I already pooped.
Yeah.
Hey, but aside from the social media, I think it's important to support all local musicians.
I agree.
Especially live, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come check out the shows and stuff and support. That's all we ask as musicians
Yeah.
is the support.
Absolutely, I agree. I've played way too many shows where there's nobody there, and I have fun because I can do whatever I want at that point.
You can
but
screw up and
it's-
nobody will know.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's like another
shitty.
band practice live.
Yeah, so it's pretty shitty. But you heard it here first. Go join As the City Sleeps Music on social media. Make sure you go and you watch their shows. Let's support each other as local artists, local musicians. The city of El Paso is big. There should be a lot of support here, and I think all of us are just, intimidated or too scared to go anywhere. But we can change that together as a whole.
That's right.
And, it starts with us. So without further ado, I really want to hear you guys perform. I know the audience is ready. So let's kick it. What do you think?
do
Let's
it.
go.
All right, let's
Yeah.
go.
Hey, what's up, guys? We are As the City Sleeps. We're going to do a few songs for you guys, and hope you like them. This one is called We Only Have Tonight. We only have tonight. and the moon will be yours. I'll move the night for you, and soon we'll never touch the floor. I'll move the stars, and the moon will be ours. I'll move the stars for you, and soon we'll never touch the floor. We'll be yours. We'll never touch the floor. We'll be yours. We'll never touch the floor. Cool. Okay, that was We Only Have Tonight. And now we're going to go into another song of ours called Welcome to the Flood. She haunts me Hey guys, again, we are As the City Sleeps. Thank you so much to Beyond the Stage podcast here in El Paso. We had a lot of fun. All of us really dig it. It's really cool. This is our last song. It's going to be a new one. It's going to be out in a little bit. It's called Embers. This is our acoustic set. We decided to give it a little chill vibe. But if you want to see us in our chill vibe, we're going to be playing November 20th at the Moonlight Adobe Hall. Acoustic set from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And check out our socials. Everything when it comes to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, it's As the City Sleeps Music, all one word. And check us out. Here's our last one.